Put this right here. I'm doing this while he sleeps. Hi, I'm Nick. Welcome to How I Vlog, Part 2. So last week, I showed you how I vlogged. I gave you a rundown on the equipment I use, which is the iPhone. The app that I use, which was the native app. And also my workflow on how I get it into the computer and how I edit. So this week changed a little bit because I used a different app. I wanted to up the quality, and the native app on the iPhone. The native app on the iPhone is pretty... What's up, buddy? Hi. So the native app on the iPhone, it's good, but you don't have control on how the native app compresses the quality of the video. The only control that you have is the resolution and the frame rate. But there are apps out there that will allow you to control not just the resolution and the frame rate, but also the quality of it. The app that I'm going to be talking about, and the app that I used all last week. Can I help you? Is the app called Filmic Pro. This gear icon will allow me to go into the settings, and I can change the resolution. If you go into resolution here, so if you're doing 1080, it's at 50 megabits per second. But if I switch it all the way up to 4K, I can actually go up to 100, which gives it 2 times better compression, or 2 times less compression. Another big thing about the app that I love is the fact that you can adjust the aperture and the focus independently of each other. So there are 2 reticles on the screen. The first one is the exposure reticle, and the second one is the focus reticle. Now my favorite part about this is that you can control precisely the focus and the exposure. Now what I mean by that, I'll have you take a look. You have 2 reticles here. You got the focus reticle, which gives you a nice little guide. So all you have to do is just drag the reticle where you want to focus. If you press and hold on the focus reticle, you'll see this little sidebar pop up with 2 lines on the top and the bottom and a square in the middle. Now if I drag that square, I have full control over the focus. Oh, that is so awesome. I think that's pretty focused right there. I'm going to double tap. It brings that line automatically there. Now I'm going to focus in on Bumblebee here. I like that point, so I'm going to double tap, and now I have my second point. All I have to do to go between these two is just tap the lines. Boop, boop. That's pretty cool. I can speed up the focus. Now if I slide to the right, that is the speed bar. So I want to do a fast focus from one to the other. Whoop. Whoop. That is awesome. That's the focus reticle. You can get a nice focus pull by using this feature. It's awesome. I love it. So this is the exposure reticle. This allows me to brightens it or it dims it depending on where it's at. Now I know I said in last week's episode that I'm not going to shoot in 4K. There's no point to it because not a lot of people have 4K TVs, and mainly you're watching it on your phone. Now I'm going to correct myself. This whole entire week, most of the week I shot in 4K. The reason why I did that is not because I was going to export in 4K, because I'm always going to export in 1080. The advantages of shooting in 4K means that you can crop in the image if you didn't frame it correctly. Also, it's great for stabilization, because when you stabilize something, it crops it in to compensate. That's not the only reason why I shot in 4K. If you shoot in 1080 and you deliver in 1080, it's going to look 1080. If you shoot in 4K but deliver it in 1080, you're still going to get 1080, but the image is going to be a lot sharper. Another thing this app does, you can zoom. Now it's not an optical zoom, but with the advantage of 4K and delivering to 1080, it really doesn't matter, because if you zoom in, the max you're ever going to zoom in is roughly going to be a 1080 image. So I wanted to try out slow motion, and I wanted to try doing time lapse. It took me a while to figure out how to do the time lapse. I didn't realize, I thought there was actually a time lapse mode, but there's not. In order to record in slow motion or in time lapse, you have to go into the frame rate setting. So you'll see you have your different frame rate options. Some are grayed out depending on what resolution you're using. If I wanted to do a time lapse, I would drag this circle all the way to the right. You'll notice that the frame rate is 3 frames per second at a 30 frame playback. Now the time lapse, you'll see in this clip right here. In 4K quality, you can actually get a still frame, and I got I saw this crane flying right past. That picture right there, actually I'll just put it on the whole screen. Look at that, that's nice and sharp. But if I wanted to do slow motion, I would have to go back into the resolution, change it to a lower resolution, 1080, go back to frame rate. Now I have the option to go up to 120 frames a second. I can go to 240 frames a second if I drop it down to 720. So now I can just drag that all the way to the left. Now I'm capturing at 120 frames a second, playing back at 30. So it slows it down. The slow motion I was really impressed with. As you can see in this shot here, the car landed on the lens. I was really lucky that it didn't break the camera lens. But it looks great. Now for the sake of not filling up my iCloud storage, I decided not to edit in iMovie, because in order for me to edit in iMovie, I would have to bring all of these 4K files and put it into my library, which would take up all of my space. I've been getting error messages saying, your iCloud storage is full. Thank you. So I haven't been using iMovie to edit this. I took this directly into iTunes. You have the file sharing options. That's how I saved all the footage to my computer. And then I imported it directly into Final Cut Pro, and I edited like a pro. Filmic Pro, awesome app. If you're ever going to be shooting anything on your phone, I recommend. It's not that expensive. Let's see how much it is. Because I bought it, it's not telling me how much it is. So Filmic Pro is available on the App Store in both Android and iPhone. This is not a paid plug. It sounds like it. It's not. I just really like this app. This is a really cool app. It's only $9.99. It's worth every penny. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this has been informative and you learned something. Can I help you? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Nick. This is Goose. I'll see you in the next one. Can you guys tell the difference between the first week and the second week? I hope you can. Now, my ultimate... Goose, you seriously need to get... You have your own spot right here. Knocking stuff over.